I clearly won my battle against DICE. I think they did a horrible job selecting the judges, and even KBA was surprised with the other votes. Those are just some of the comments on my battle against DICE. There has been quite a bit of controversy regarding this battle of mine and DICE in the comment sections, Instagram, YouTube, like everywhere, you know, so I felt it was interesting to talk about, which I recently did in a live stream. Side note, this is not me bashing DICE or Christoph. I love both of the guys, or even the judges, you know, it's not about sending hate towards those people, so please don't do that if you get some weird thought in your head. It's not about that at all. I just wanted to talk about the situation from my perspective, about all the information we had in the moment and how it just happened for me, you know. I got a bit passionate talking about this topic on stream, so don't try to mistake it as me complaining about losing, because that's not what this is about at all. Please just listen to what I say in the video. It's not about that. Some people got the misconception that I was crying about losing and that I should have won, and it's just me saying how I felt in the moment and regarding the situation. So please open your ears and listen properly. It's very easy, I promise you. Nonetheless, thank you for being here. We'll get right into it. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and listen to my music. If you like my music, if you hate my music, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. Anyway, let's just get right into the video.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't realize it in the moment. So much shit happened, you know. I did bodybuilding. I did it all from the mouth, and then DICE restarts this round, and then we get to the next topic. Holy shit. Let me. Yo, I look like a vampire. They did not do my lighting justice. I look like I'm sickly. That's crazy. So, KBA is the only good judge on this panel. Oh my god, and we still... We are now going to discuss the 20-ish minutes that happened between DICE's second round and his redo of his second round. Because some people don't realize, from the moment DICE fucked up, there was a big gap in between his restart and his actual take, which was weird. Because you have to imagine, first of all, the GBB venue backstage is a maze. There's like 4 or 5 floors. 14 months, remember, thank you, bro. GBB venue was a maze. 5 floors, elevator on like 2 different locations, staircases that it feels like a Ghibli movie. Honestly, fucked up. So, DICE fucks up. Christoph decides, okay, I'm going to go all the way to the stage, which isn't a short trip. So he needs to get to the stage, which takes like a little bit. Like, it's not crazy, but it takes time. Gets to the stage, he's discussing things with DICE. Meanwhile, Scott Jackson doing a showcase because, well, everything's super awkward. You don't understand. 2 battlers on stage. Scott Jackson's like, okay, let's do this shit again. So he starts doing a showcase. Christoph is discussing with DICE what exactly the problem was. And after they're done discussing for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, they come to me. They ask my opinion and what I would like. They just asked me if the restart was okay, basically. But what Christoph and DICE told me in the moment themselves, DICE, first of all, was super unsure if... Oh no. DICE stood super unsure and not confident next to Christoph. He's like, yeah, there's 2 buttons I needed to press, but I think it was something with the signs, but 2 buttons I needed to press and one of them didn't activate, something like this. And there was just a lot of uncertainty. Both Christoph and DICE couldn't say it was a device fault. In the moment, yeah? Even DICE. Maybe he will say something else now, but that's what fucking happened next to me on the moment. He didn't know what happened, for sure. So, Christoph says to me, is it fine if he restarts and we label it as a mistake? And I say clearly, yes, okay, fuck it. Because I don't want to be the fucking... I don't want to be the mood ruiner, you know, the bad guy in the moment. Mr. Paul! Donating to mess up your video and make you edit more. Yeah, I mean, shit. So, yeah, I say, that's okay. As long as you make it clear, it's a mistake. That's what I said. I was like, fuck it. I don't want to be the bad guy. Let DICE restart this round. I should have said voting first, and then sure, Dice can restart his round. That's what Christoph originally wanted. I don't know why it didn't happen. You know, everything's happening in the moment. I don't want to be the bad guy. Dice is uncomfortable, so I'm like, fuck it. You know, I don't want to make Dice more. I'm not battling anymore, you know, because that would just be an asshole move. So I'm like, fuck it. You can restart. Christoph, make sure you tell them it's a mistake. And he did. 3 times. Mistake. And then when they were huddled up there, I think they were discussing it again. Like, should we count this as a mistake? So that's the details. We didn't know if it was a device specific thing. Dice couldn't tell us for certain. If love you, I love you too, man. If Dice told us certainly in the moment, yes, my device fucked up completely, whatever. But that's not what happened. So now we arrive at this situation. Dice redoes his round. Dice redoes his second round. The judging happens, and I see the votes, and I was disappointed. Obviously, like, no one wants to actually lose. If there's people who want to lose, you're masochists, you're weirdos, but to each their own, whatever. I didn't want to lose, so seeing all the votes against me, not all of them, but seeing myself lose it hurt for 10 minutes until I had to go on stage again, and I was chilling, but it stung for a bit, you know? And I was disappointed because in my soul, I think I should have taken it. That was what I thought in the moment. And then I also see So vote overtime. Like, overtime in this competition in Loopstation was not allowed. Like, an overtime could not happen. So, by default, voting overtime shouldn't be a thing either. Because that means if So was the cause of a equal vote, then he would have had to redo his vote. So his overtime vote wouldn't have even mattered. Overtime was not allowed. So seeing this in the first place, it's whack. Even if So voted for me, I still would have lost. But now we get into the meat and potatoes. The reason why this situation is even more whack for me than it is, after everything, the battle, I think solo even ended. I'm turning off the notifications. I truly appreciate it, but I'm trying to get my words out. And it's not working. I need to stay focused. I'm very sorry. Let me get into my fucking thoughts, yeah? The battle ends. The votes have happened. I think Christoph in the backstage already came up to me and he was like, bro, sorry for this whole situation. And he just apologized like 2 or 3 times, which I didn't like, you know? Dice also, after he won, like straight after he won, I turned to him and I want to give him a hand. Like, I'm not being the asshole. I just want to smile. Congratulations. Good job. Whatever. And he apologizes to me. He says sorry. Not because I think he cheated or because I think he hid his mistake, but I think because he felt bad. But imagine what that does to me. You know, I just lost. And you say sorry to me. Like, not in an asshole way, but him genuinely feeling that I should have won. That's how it felt, you know? So Dice apologizes to me straight on stage. Christoph apologizes to me in the backstage, I think. Somewhere. Doesn't really matter. He apologizes and he explains and this shouldn't happen and blah, 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 and this and that. Which makes me feel like I don't want to talk about it anymore. It is what it is. I lost. I'm happy with what I did. I don't want to, like, I don't need more apologies, you know, but he's doing it from a good place. Whatever, I let him. Everything's done again. I stand in the artist section in the back in the venue next to the judge table. So the table you see, I stand right behind Saro. And Saro comes up to me and he says, yo, bro, yeah, the situation was weird and yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he said, but was it a mistake? Was it a mistake? And I said, yeah, I think so. That's how it was supposed to be. Like, they told you multiple times that it was a mistake. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, bro. And if I knew this. So in my head, I think Saro would have voted for me if they actually kept the mistake in mind. And then Christoph is also there because he's the referee next to it. And he also comes to apologize again. Like, it started pissing me off. You know, I was like, fuck, stop apologizing to me. I don't care. Shit happens. The judging was whack. The situation was whack. Everything about this was whack. I don't want to hear about it anymore because it doesn't matter. Like, I think personally I would have lost in the finals, and I lost in the spoiler alert, I lost in the small finals as well. Like, it didn't matter to me. I was vibing, I was happy with my rounds. And then yeah, fucking Soso voting overtime, making the situation even fucking worse than it was. Like, come on, man. I said this in previous streams. If you cannot make a decision, why is there still an alert? If you as a judge in a judge panel cannot make a decision, that's your job, by the way, to make a decision. That's literally your job. To make a decision, you should not be judging. Ta-da! Am I saying some crazy shit that no one ever knew before? No. Be able to make a decision. Voting overtime shows your fucking incapabilities to judge. Make a decision. It's that simple. And then to go deeper on this topic, first of all, I don't believe Christoph poorly communicated that it was a mistake to them, because he said 3 times on stage, mistake. And then I assume he said it again when they were huddled up together. So that's weird. I mean, I can understand why Beardy Man and Inky would vote against me, because they don't care about looping, I guess. Like, I'm not trying to be salty, I just genuinely think that's it. And I could have been a better participant by doing something that they might have fucked with more, you know, instead of a bodybuilding thing and actual looping. So I can see that. But yeah, the fact that it wasn't clear is weird. The fact that Soso voted overtime shows to me that it wasn't... I mean, first of all, they should have received contracts, which should have stated no overtime. Which means maybe he didn't read it. Maybe he didn't care. Maybe he forgot. But nonetheless, it was poorly communicated between Soso. I mean, maybe just between Soso and Soso. But Soso and the organization as well. I don't know what went wrong there, because it shouldn't have happened. You know? So this whole situation is just a bit wacky. Do I care at the end of the day? A bit. Obviously, else I couldn't go into a rant like this. For me, it was fine that I lost. It's just annoying that the situation is as weird as it was. I think I said what I wanted to say. Thank you for coming out. KBA said Soso did, but all the writing was in English and the rule rundown was in English. Yeah, that's an issue, man. That shouldn't happen. It wasn't Dice's mistake. He announced it on some live stream after he found out the issue. Good that it's just an MK2 issue, I guess, but we didn't know. So in the moment, that's all the information we had. Some more insight, by the way. After the battle is done, 99%, I mean, maybe this is just boosting my ego, 99% of all the beatboxers I spoke with said, I don't know how you lost that one, man. I don't think you should have lost this one, man. Like, and they all looked at me like, nah, that was a bit, fucking the whole beatbox house, D-Lo, but technically even Saro, after he apologized, thought I should have won, which was also, I mean, it was nice to hear. It wasn't annoying. I was like, yeah, I think so too, but it is what it is. So it was just nice to have some people on my side in the moment, you know, telling me their thoughts about my rounds, and it was nice. It was nice to hear. Okay, now I think I've fully talked myself out. So I hope that sheds some light on the full situation. Again, it was an awkward situation, 20 minutes of nothing, and then Dice restarts his round. So at that point, I'm just like, how will this proceed? How does this make any sense anymore? It felt so awkward, and for him to restart his round after like quite a bit of time, it felt super weird. I was like, how will you judge this now properly? How would you judge this properly now? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't want restarts in the first place, so this situation could happen. But it's weird, man. It's just a weird situation. It's a weird ass situation. That being said, I'll say it again and again. I am super happy with my performances, even in the small final.